Sometimes mods don't get the recognition they deserve. What you're seeing right now is a glimpse of what most save files have never seen. Ever. Experiences never had. Whether it be the black hole that NASA discovered a couple years ago turned into a mod, a city turned into a metropolis, or a Nexus file buried from 2014, these mods deserve a little bit more love. Certainly more love than the ones Bethesda keep on making that require 40 bucks for some reason. Aldecados. One mean dragon. That is if you're playing in 2011. But after a while, everyone gets a hang of the game, and by the time you get to Aldecados and Sovngarde, bro, that dude has the power of your left nut. This is fixed by a mod from 10 years ago. This splits the Aldecados fight into 5 stages. Stage 1 is similar to vanilla, except his melee attacks now break holes in reality. Whatever that means. And his meteorite shout has been reworked to fire more meteors than there are Bethesda controversies. That basically means you're gonna be on your own, cause these bums skip leg day. Stage 2 transports you to inside his stomach. Yeah, I know, strange, just bear with me. The objective here is to survive his inside, and damage his nerves, which will get him pissed off enough to spit you back out, getting you to stage 3, which will find you into a damaged Sovngarde, in which you must use your Thum to fire the orbiting meteors back at him, while also fighting off the smaller shadows of Aldecados. He's also going to be shouting at you, so you're going to have to watch your step, as he'll try to yeet you off the edge of the map. Once enough damage has been done by the meteors, you shout it back at him. Stage 4 will put you onto his back, Attack on Titan style. You'll have to strike his nerves again to get him off this stage, which will get you to the final stage, which is when reality reassembles itself and you have to fight a lesser HP but higher damaging Aldecados. Now I'm gonna be honest, is this mod perfect? No. It's got its flaws in its gameplay. I mean, it came out a decade ago. However, is it challenging? Yeah, it's that alright. It may not be the cleanest fight you've ever seen, but it does give the challenge that the title of World Eater deserves. Defeating him will move us into the next mod, which may or may not be a tad overpowered, going by the name of Singularity. This is a destruction spell that is awarded after defeating Aldecados. The spell is made to look like a black hole because it'll destroy everything in its path. The visuals on this spell are stunning. The aesthetic of the spell is characterized by its dominating dark center, surrounded by its flaming rings with sparks offshooting in different directions. It really fills in that gap that awards the player for finishing the story. Now, Whiterun is the trade capital of Skyrim, yet these people don't sell shit. The only trade I see going on is the illegal mammoth tusk trade going on with this hoe. Rin's Whiterun city limits expands on the boundaries of Whiterun. It expands from past the Whiterun stables all the way up to Pelagia Farm, massively extending its walls. A fresh look is dawned upon the city as the textures are changed on the outside of the buildings, as well as many more additional structures. A new signpost that lives up to the respect of the city, white stone guard towers overlooking the outskirts, and broken walls to personify the war-torn land of Skyrim all add to this mod's merit. The border around Pelagia Farm is now patrolled by guards and has an added bridge. Combining this with Believable Skyrim gives you an overhaul of both the exterior and the interior of the city. The meshes and textures are improved to the rival that of a modern game, with surfaces smoother than my non-existent pickup lines and waterways that are more shallow than an average Twitter argument. This gives a completely fresh look to Whiterun. The mod author even improves on the material of the roofs of houses, giving them a defined look. Benches have been placed around the city to give off appearance that, you know, people actually might live here. The stony texture matches the buildings outside the main walls. Some walls even show age on them. This also impacts the interior of these buildings. Dragon's Reach has darker wood, and its pillars have been given designs and 4K textures. Given that it's supposed to be a palace, it's also been given marble flooring in some areas. The Jarl's quarters have been given some extra polish as well. New shining flooring has been placed at Kinnerit's shrine, and the place actually looks like a place of healing and worship. Overall, these two mods combined give a nice, consistent, yet lore-friendly look to the trade capital of Skyrim. Moving over to Solstheim, it's about time this furniture got some updates. This 4K update gives all the wood new textures: houses, benches, tables, bar tables, chairs, just about everything you can think of, at least when it comes to furniture. These textures give a little bit of separation between the wood of Solstheim and the wood of Skyrim, which checks out given the atmospheres are very different. Coming with two variations, a grayish version and a brown version, and the best part is that it's... fuck me. As I was saying, the best part is that it's completely compatible with static mesh improvement. If you're a true son or daughter of Skyrim, then this historically accurate house might be right up your alley. This Viking longhouse has gotten basically everything perfect. Some of the objects in here are static, which is a little bit of a letdown, but nothing close to a deal breaker. The longhouse is jam-packed with stuff. It's a cozy place with a fireplace in the middle, and just about everything you could imagine in a longhouse. Ghosts in Skyrim, for whatever reason, can be damaged by any sword, even though they couldn't in previous Elder Scroll games. With this mod, they've been reworked, so only some weapons can actually damage them, following the lore. These being silver weapons, Daedric weapons, dragonbone weapons, bound weapons, Daedric and Aedric artifacts, with some additional Skyrim uniques. This makes the enemies a little bit more interesting to encounter. You'll need to actually switch weapons unless your primary is sufficient. Considering the whole series is based off of these Elder Scrolls, it's kinda crazy how they don't really do much other than take up 20 pounds of inventory space. Given that this world kind of revolves around them, I'd expect them to have a little bit more power that's, more similar to that of the One Ring or something. Like I just fought the most crusty looking abomination, golden transformers made to kill, and Megatron himself just for you to be undroppable and not give me a single drop of benefit? Like, bro, what the hell? This next mod gives these Elder Scrolls a little bit of a reward for having them. Okay, maybe a little bit is an understatement, but come on, they're Elder Scrolls, they gotta have some power. They can either buff the regenerate of your health, magicka, or stamina. However, that's not the best part. You gotta tell me, how can this wear the Elder Scrolls but not me? I'm the main character, she's been sleeping for the past 2,000 years, she's a freeloader, I drink dragons for fun. Come on. So now you can. The textures have been changed so, they won't look like less pixels than a JPEG on your back. And I'm kind of surprised given how basic of an idea this was. It's actually really well done, and Bethesda didn't get to it first. But, maybe they'll do it in the future. Maybe they'll just copy someone else's mod. The last mod covers this sky. Again, lore friendly. At least according to the mod page. Aetherius completely changes the night sky. The inspiration of this mod comes from books that are actually in the game itself. The sky has been characterized by a thin green aurora with high definition planets in between them. The mod author didn't cut corners on this artwork as it goes completely across the horizon with multiple planets opposing the massive moon of Skyrim known as Masser. That's about all I got. There's probably plenty more mods that went under the radar over the past 12 years, so maybe I'll get around to them some other day. Hell, I might even travel to the lands of console Skyrim one day. There's some pretty crazy mods in the making for the rest of the year that will likely not be made by Bethesda because they don't make good mods. But as for this video, I hope you found something new, and if not, then you can complain in the comments.